Legends, it's Butters here from Rugby League Fantasy Pro. Just going to have a very quick look at how my own buy planning's coming along using our NRL Fantasy Pro buy team planner. Okay, so at the moment I'm pretty looking pretty good. I've made some future trades. I can see down here my position table who my captain and vice captain options are for each round. At the moment, I've got a hole in round 17 and 18 in the halves, and I've got one hole in round 15 in my wing fullback. So at the moment, I'm planned out pretty well. Okay, so up top here, we've got our trades available being tracked. This all syncs in seconds to my own fantasy team, so it's not a lot of messing around setup. Also tracks my cash on hand as I make each move. So for the trades I've made this round, these have been added on. So after those trades, I've still got 12 available. That's not counting the extra 8 that kick in round 20. That leaves me with the remaining of 1.3 trades per round. Okay, got a little bit of analysis on the trades I'm making here. Now, this is what my squad for round 12 looks like, and I can actually advance this through various rounds. So, round 13, I haven't got any moves planned. Round 14, I'm planning on trading Lachlan Galvin to Terrell May at this point in time, and that's what my team looks like for round 14. Round 15, I've got a bunch of trades kicking in. So I've got you at the moment planning on using all 4 trades in round 15, getting me to this point here. As you can see, that takes my trades available down to 7, my cash on hand to 54k. Now, this is really what sets our team planner apart from Roster, footystatistics.com, and any others. We're the only site that is legitimately providing player projections for every single round. So when you're the biggest thing in coming up with a buy plan, it's no good coming up with a buy plan of players in and out if at the end of the day the money doesn't work. Okay, so what's really important um, in the buy planning is keeping track of what the realistic prices you're going to be paying for players are and selling players at. So at the moment, for this particular round 15, our projections would have Nathan Cleary priced 954k. I'd have CR Wong priced at about 709k. So they're not current prices. Those prices are coming from future round projections. Now, apart from being the only site that's actually doing that, we're also by far and away, and you can ask around, it's very hard to argue this. We prove it time and time again. We are the most accurate when it comes to price forecasting players. Okay. So our break evens are more accurate. Our price moves are more accurate. We're the only team the only site that's actually projecting players round by round, taking into account differences in roles mid-season with origin players in and out, injured players in and out, etc., etc. So what you're getting with our site is some reliability around the cash on hand you have as you're making these moves, and therefore some reliability in the fact that you actually are or are not actually going to be able to make them. Okay, so if we advance to round 16, round 17, so coming into round 17, I'm probably going to have about 54k on hand to have a look at filling that uh, hole I've got in my halves for round 17, 18. And at that point in time, according on the plan at the moment, I'd have 7 trades still available with another 8 to kick in round 20. The next step for me is this is giving me a pretty good idea of players in and out and rough time frames to do that with. The next step for me is going to be going to our player forecasts. So let's just pull that up quickly. So one of the players that I want to have coming in is Terrell May. Okay, this is what our player forecast looks like for Terrell May. So our future trade numbers. If you put a trade in for Terrell May in round 14, it's going to be taking a price of 877K for him. Okay, and this is where those numbers are coming from. We're taking their projected score round by round, their projected price move against that score, and their projected new break even, and we're tracking that the whole way through. As you can see here, we've been reasonably, we're always pretty accurate. We had a projection of 70 early, round two, against 62. His minutes weren't what we expected them to be. We adjusted for that pretty quickly. 63 versus 61, 68 versus 51, 59 versus 75, 57 versus 73. So he's been starting to pick those minutes back up again, and we're picking up his projections against that. Okay, so the next step for me is having a look at timing. So, for instance, for Terrell May, I know that once we're past round 12, he doesn't have another buy all the way till round 23. So he's a green light player, straight up. At the moment, he's probably about 20K overpriced, but he is the type of player that, as we've seen, we can project him at 62 and he can score an 83. So pretty much, I know with Terrell May, he's pretty much green light to bring in straight away round 13. If I have a look at one of the players that I might be trading out along the way, say Lachlan Galvin. So Lachlan Galvin at the moment, he's good for me for round 12, 13, 14. We have him projecting pretty healthy. He's not entirely coming up to that projection point, so we might be slightly over projecting him. But at the moment, he's still got a bit of value in him. And, I can always go to our price break even forecast if I'm a little bit concerned about those over projections. Going to have a look at him in our price break even forecast. And if I pull him back to 55s, we could see that at 55, he's pretty much just absolutely at value right now. Okay, so that's one trade. That's one place I know where I can make a move straight away. I'm not going to be using Lockie Galvin in. I'm not going to be using Lockie Galvin in round 15 or 18. So once he's passed his buy, round 13 is probably a premium time to be making that Galvin to Terrell May move. And I can just come back um, to our team planner. And it's easy for me to just go ahead and make some changes to future trades. At the moment, let's have a look. At the moment, I don't have any trades happening around 13. I have Lockie Galvin for May in round 14. So it's really easy for me to reverse that. I'm just going to reverse that trade quickly. So Galvin to Terrell May. I'm just going to have to swap another forward in there. Trade him back to Galvin. That will reverse that trade. Okay, I can come back to round 13 and I'll make that trade in here instead. So round 13, Okay, so there's a reason why I was doing that in round 13, because I wouldn't have a second half. So that's why I've still got Lockie Galvin in there for round 13. So I'll probably leave that at round 14, or I can have a look at the price move of some other players that I might not be keeping for the entire way through. But there you go. That's just a little bit of a look at um, how easy our team planner is. If I come back to round so I've wiped that future trade away. So I can just very easily reorganize my team by hitting optimize forward rounds. And now I'm going to be back to being at a spot where I have that hole in round 15 and it's reorganized everything here. So it's really easy to once when you're actually making trade moves, to know what the holes now look like. You just click our optimize button and it automatically organizes your best team available for the various rounds. And on this table down here, you can see really easily where your holes are that you need to fill. This bit up here also gives me a snapshot. So I know that in round 15, let's look at the Reds. I've only got 12 players out of 13, got a hole at half. I've also got a hole at fullback. So really, I've actually got 11 players out of 13. At round 18, it's showing me I've got 11 out of 13 available total. So this table here gives you a real good pointer. This table here shows you your player availabilities. Where I've got gaps is where that player isn't actually in my squad. So you can tell from here that I'm actually trading Siwa Rawong in round 15 and I'm actually trading Nathan Cleary out in round 15, as they're the times the players come in and out of my squad. You can see by the gaps, showing me my captain scores and round projections for each round for the player as well. There you go. Okay, so the big takeaway is, yeah, at the end of the day, there's other team planners around, but the real crunch factor comes in tracking your cash on hand and having a fair idea of what those trades are going to future cost you, what your future trade out price for a player is going to be, what your future trade in price for a player is going to be, and what amount of cash that's going to leave you on hand at various times to actually have an idea of whether the plan you're making will even work or not. Thanks for your time. Look, we've got a few other demos on our YouTube site, and we're totally available on our social channels. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out and ask. We're happy to answer them.